Resting after a long ride, a Hawk X250 stands proudly. With 2,400 miles clocked on its odometer, the bike is still young, yet each mile its own unique story to tell. Some might call it a trial by fire. Being thrown straight into the unforgiving back roads from day one, its tires have seen as much gravel as they have blacktop. And so far, not a single complaint. The satisfaction of returning home with a fully intact bike every day is something I didn't expect to take for granted. While this might seem a given for any name-brand motorcycle, when your ride arrives in a crate and is assembled in the front yard, it feels especially rewarding. Though I've done my best to avoid unnecessary abuse, there have been moments where the bike had to remind me of its dual-sport capabilities. In situations where it might be best to turn around, I could almost feel the Hawk's idle calling out to say, "Just climb the ditch, I'll be fine." So far, the most surprising thing about owning the Hawk X has been its unexpected reliability. While I have no complaints about the bike's performance, the fact that it has shown no signs of impending doom has emboldened me to push rides further into the unknown and rely on the bike for daily transportation. To be blunt, there's a strong possibility I may be taking this reliability for granted and depending on the bike more than I should. Or maybe I've just conditioned myself to expect the worst. Time will tell. Now, I won't cut credit away from myself completely. The time spent riding and working on two-wheeled vehicles, along with witnessing the torturous effects of southern weather, have helped tip the scale in the Hawk's favor. For example, it's not enough to simply cover a bike and keep it out of the rain with a simple tarp. Nearly every morning, dew collects and finds its way onto most surfaces, causing rust to form on a bike that has otherwise never seen a drop of rain or touched a puddle. Thankfully, this problem can be avoided with a basic shed. It took me far too long to realize how important proper storage conditions are, but yes, it turns out they're critical for a bike's longevity. Beyond that, I've stuck with the manual's recommended maintenance, oil changes, valve last, chain adjustment. Each task is quick and easy to do, and I'll be damned if I let a missed service interval be the cause of this bike's demise. The combined versatility and enjoyment I've found in this dual sport bike is more valuable than I ever anticipated. For example, a few days ago I left my house to pay a bill. 4 hours later, I returned home with 107 miles added to the trip meter. Completely unplanned, yet this has been happening more and more often. Is that a carbine? Legally, I guess it's classified as a rifle.
Okay, it breaks in half. All right, I've seen that. It shoots 9mm?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I think this is their version 2. Probably just go for the 50-yard plate.
Open sights.
Yep.
Ooh.
Nowhere to hold. I guess I just hold dead center. Oh my god, this is the first time I've ever shot steel. That is so satisfying.
It's cool, huh?
Yeah. As I slowly push the bike further and harder with each trip, I'm now seriously considering a multi-state adventure to revisit old memories from my childhood. I've even begun planning out roads and supplies that I'll need. Counterintuitive as it may seem, long distances on the Hawk feel shorter and more meaningful than they do in a car. For journeys that don't require much cargo, it's become my favorite option. Insured for a single digit and registered for only a few more coins, the bike is incredibly cheap to own and operate. Moreover, its legality means I don't have to keep looking over my shoulder for the law, nor am I limited in the roads I can take. This freedom adds an extra layer of enjoyment to every ride. Riding 2-up isn't something the Hawk and I do often, but this 230cc motor handles a passenger surprisingly well. Acceleration is hardly affected, with the only noticeable difference being a slight drop in top speed, from 60 to 55 miles an hour. I like the new Google Maps app. Not only will it tell you what the speed limit is, but next to it, once you get going, it tells you how fast you're going. It took them a long time to figure out that was a good idea. .230, you say? Well, yes, but not really. Technically, the motor has a measured displacement of 223.07 cc, with 230 being easier to say and 250 being easier to market. You might think, it is what it is, who cares? But when it comes time to insure the bike, remember that true rating, unless you don't care about money. Modifications can certainly pull more out of this little thumper, although I've made a few tweaks to improve reliability, safety, and convenience. I'm still waiting to pass a higher milestone before investing in performance enhancements. Personally, I'm in no hurry. While I've always been fascinated by small motors and occasionally enjoy squeezing every bit of power out of them, there's always at least a justification of practicality when modifying a small motor. The Hawk X already has enough power to fulfill my needs and wants, and it's running so well that I'd hate to risk messing it up. At least for now. Someone's gonna get a free ladder. Not inherently less safe than other motorcycles, arguably even more so, dual sports maintain a delicate balance when it comes to safety, more complicated than I initially thought. On average, they can achieve just enough top speed to negotiate with traffic, but not enough to completely satisfy it. You could opt for a two-lane back road where, depending on the time of day, it can feel as if you own the road. The view is better, the ride is more entertaining, and you won't feel out of place. However, unexpected hazards are far more likely here, and if your timing is off or you're just unlucky, you can start to bottleneck other drivers. Multi-lane highways are more direct for those occasions when you're stretched thin on time and energy. They also provide traffic with an easy way around you. I won't say hazards are less likely here, but they are more predictable. Interstates, however, are not something I would attempt unless it was my only option. While you have more lanes to work with, the higher speed limits puts the bike far outside of its element, with traffic approaching too quickly in many situations. Thankfully, satellite maps have proven to be one of the best tools at our disposal, allowing us to navigate around these major arteries with ease. While it's true you'll benefit greatly from putting more effort into planning your trips beforehand, I personally find this to be well worth it. I feel less like I'm planning a trip and more like I'm writing a play. The climax is important, but the build-up arguably more so. So I've been doing updates on the Hawk at intervals, doubling each time. Started at 500, and then 1,000, now 2,000. The next one will be at 4, and then 8, and so on, as long as the bike continues to operate. Over the past 1,000 miles, I've found myself focusing less and less on the name and brand of the bike, and instead on the adventures I've been able to enjoy thanks to owning it. Anyways, hopefully you got some useful information out of today's video, or at the very least were mildly entertained. And until next time, ride safe.